Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Disability Advisory Commission meeting for March 9th, 2016. Thank you very much. I would like to call this meeting to order. We will begin with roll call. Commissioner Jeffords. Commissioner Chair Poshner's here. Vice Chair Stutzman.
Present.
Commissioner Van Adder.
Present.
And Commissioner Yeager.
Present.
Okay, and we do have
Present.
we do have a couple of absent commissioners. Commissioner Van der Langert is not in attendance, and Commissioner Herzog is not in attendance tonight. Would we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we can go into staff reports. I would also like to note that Robert is here from the city. Commissioner Jeffords, do you have anything to report?
I have. No?
Now you are.
Okay. All right. One thing I wanted to report on is that yesterday I had the opportunity to participate in emergency preparedness training that was conducted by the state, a collaboration between the state and the county. And it was done out in Goodyear at Desert Edge High School. And it was simulating what would happen if there was a radiation spill at the Palo Verde nuclear power plant. And they were really, really receptive to have somebody with a disability there. I brought my seeing eye dog. They were just really thrilled to have us there. I met some people from FEMA, and one of the things that I asked about is, what would happen if there was some other kind of natural disaster, and they said this training would also apply to that circumstance. So I was really excited to have that opportunity to participate in that. The other thing I wanted to state is that I would like to make 2 recommendations to be put on the agenda for next month for Above and Beyond Awards. And if I could just briefly describe those, if you don't mind, would that be okay?
Go ahead.
Okay. So the first is for a gentleman I've known for about 10 years. He's our realtor. His name is Nathan DiMartino. And he is a resident of Surprise, and we met him at an open house in Surprise. And he has just been patient, kind, understanding, lets me take extra time to look at things. He helps to describe things, and I just think he's a great person and really deserves the Above and Beyond Award. The other is a neighbor that I have named Kathleen Bagley, and Kathleen and her family have been just a major blessing in our lives. They have provided transportation for me and for my children. She's invited me to things. She's reminded me that my husband left the garage door open and just has really gone above and beyond and understands my disability and is always there in case of emergency. And that's really what a true neighbor should be. So I just would like to take an opportunity to acknowledge them, if I might. So I'd like to ask that that be put on the agenda for next month. And that will conclude my report.
Can you please make sure that you type out your statements regarding both of those and send it to Robert so he can disperse it to us?
Will do.
Thank you. I do not have anything to report this month. Vice Chair Stutzman?
I do not have anything to report.
Commissioner Van Adder?
Yes, I would like to report on the attendance the DAC made at the Adaptive Sports baseball game, and it was wonderful. We had such a good turnout. It started at 5:30, and it ran from ages 4 to infinity. And the participation and the interest in the DAC was overwhelming. I mean, it was just amazing. There were so many people that had questions and wanted magnets and just thought that it was a very good thing for the city of Surprise. Also, I want to remind everyone, it is still going on. The baseball will have a Thursday, Saturday game every week for the next month. And if you still haven't enrolled and want to, please come by the park. It's the Dreamcatcher Park. And they're getting their jerseys Thursday night, tomorrow night. So we would love to have anyone that feels like they would like to participate. And then I would like to give a report about One Step Beyond, that it's a facility for participants with intellectual disabilities, cognitive disabilities, and they have such a wonderful program. I've visited them. They would like to come and present something to the commissioners. And what they do is they help participants realize their dreams to optimize independence. They also are seeking out employment places here in Surprise so that they can give participants an opportunity to actually have meaningful employment. They provide great social skills. They just had an incredible program in January. It was a musical, and it was outstanding. And they're getting ready to have a play, The Little Mermaid, and I've heard that their plays are just phenomenal, and it is the actual participants there at the One Step Beyond. They also have life skill programs. They have culinary art training. They actually have a chef that teaches them how to prepare food, and then you can call One Step Beyond, and if you have a meeting or a social gathering, they will cater, and they will wait the tables, they will prepare the food, they will clean up, and so that to me that's just outstanding. I may need to go to learn how to cook better. They have a health and fitness program. They have, as I said, the performing arts, and then they also support parents and guardians if you need a power of attorney, or if you need guardianship papers, or if you have questions about placement. As when my mother passed away, she wanted to make sure everything was in order. And so things that only an attorney can tell you. And they will give you instructions, and they have an attorney on the DDD staff. They also have a financial program where they raise money from other entities. And some of those entities, there are foundations and corporations, are like the Maricopa Association of Governments, the Molly Lawson Foundation, the City of Peoria. So if you have a foundation or a place where you would like to give a grant or support a wonderful organization, you can call One Step Beyond. They will talk to you about it. But his name is Abdu Debar, and he wants to come and talk to us about all these wonderful things. He is the Senior Director of Programs there at One Step. So I would like to make a motion.
He's already here.
So you're going to go ahead and put it on the agenda?
He's here.
He just wanted to observe, I think.
No, he's our call to the public. He's going to come in.
He can come forward during the call to
Yeah.
the public and share with us.
He's available today with a call to the public.
Okay. Okay, great.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great. But I am.
Could you just read their website?
Yes, the website is www.o as in one, S as in Sam, B as in boy, I.org. And the campus phone number is 623-215-2449. They're located in Surprise off Reams and Greenway.
Thank you, Commissioner Van Etter. Commissioner Yeager?
Yes, I was absent last month's meeting, February 10th, but I did get to watch it on television, actually on the reruns from Surprise 11. As I usually am, I was very impressed with Vice Chair Sutzman's ideas. And when I saw that she was asking about setting up a Facebook page, I took the liberty of calling the city attorney's office. And I came early tonight to speak with Robert a little bit about it. What I'd like to do is we'll talk about it a little bit more when we put it. I'd like to suggest to put it on the agenda and the last item on this here. But I will say this in my report. The city attorney did call me back and we discussed it a bit. And it's very possible that we can put our information out on the Facebook, city's Facebook page. And if this thing goes to a step 2 or gets bigger, we may be able to even have our own Facebook page. But the whole point of it is, as Vice Chair Stutzman will tell you when we first discussed this a long time ago, the problem is that we are not allowed as non-employees of the City of Surprise to make comments on the Facebook page or in anything really, because it could be termed in an official capacity. Furthermore, this idea, before it gets off the ground, has to go to the City Council for approval, and it has to come, if we have a moderator, it has to be an employee of the City of Surprise. So I asked about having Robert Harris be that person. Not that we're looking to dump any extra work on him and his workload, but my guess is, and I made this very clear to the city attorney, his office, is that we're not going to, after we get the initial thing set up, my guess is that it'll be very infrequently that we're putting information on it. It'll only be every once in a while, and any questions that we do get would go only through Robert. He would be the only one authorized to, as an employee of the City of Surprise, to answer those questions. And then he can forward it on to us and we can discuss it. We can put it on our agenda if we have to, and we can make determinations. And then it goes back to him, and then we have something, some communication with us in the public then. So I thought it was a great idea, and I'm looking forward to pursuing it. And I know that Robert is going to share some more information, because Diane Arthur's department is the one that's eventually going to be running the show on this here. And I thank you for your consideration, Robert, and that'll complete my report. Oh, I didn't do that? I had Robert read that.
I read that.
Yeah, we were just
Yeah.
put it on the agenda to talk about resurrecting.
I would love to resurrect it. All right, let me report on the Shake, Rattle, and Read program. I asked Robert to read a statement that I had written at the meeting that I wasn't able to attend last week. And as you might recall, or may recall if you were here in that statement, unfortunately, we ran into a couple of stone walls that were, despite my trying to move things around, didn't quite work out. So it doesn't look like we're going to be able to hold such a function at the library, not only due to the library's stringent rules, but also because of our own city department, Paul Free, from the Adaptive Phys Ed department. I don't think he wants to ruffle too many feathers, and I respect that. But we can still resurrect the program, except that we would have to have it at a different venue, and it would most likely have to be in a room on City Hall property. And I don't know how conducive that is to getting children to read for that, because in the library, what we were hoping to do with that program, if you recall, we were going to present a program and then have books on the subject matter that we taught about folklore and about singing and songs and so on. We were going to present books right there, have them from the whole Maricopa County library system be there and available for children to take out right away while we got the burner on the fire, so to speak. That's not possible if we have the program somewhere else in another venue, especially on City Hall property, especially it's not a library. And with the cooperation that I haven't been getting with the library, I doubt very much they're going to have a librarian come over and present some books and so on and read to the children, etc. So if you like, Commissioner, Vice Chair Sussman, maybe you want to suggest that we revisit this at our meeting next month to resurrect it. Everything is in place. We had all the ideas. We had people involved. I just don't know how much it could work. So that's something that would have to be discussed at our next meeting if you think it's still possible.
Well, I was very disappointed when I got the email that said that it fell through.
Well, you can imagine how I felt.
Oh, I know how you felt, and I'm glad you vented an email to us and not to the library.
Mm-hmm.
Commissioner Jeffords.
Thank you. I'd just like to take a quick minute to thank Commissioner Yeager. His passion for this program and his passion for wanting to educate and get kids involved in reading, and especially kids with disabilities, was just so impressive to me. He worked tirelessly for this, and it's just a true shame that it did fall apart and we couldn't come to a consensus with the library. But again, I'd just like to recognize that his diligence and his hard work were just amazing, and I think he deserves a lot of credit for every bit of energy and enthusiasm he put into this. So I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Robert, do you have anything to report this month?
The next item is actually the call to the public.
Well, I was still on reports. I was asking if you...
My staff report comes after the call to the public.
Point of order, Chairman. You have the authority, if you wish, to change the order of sequence that's on the agenda.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead.
As mentioned, the Shake, Rattle, and Read agenda item was taken off currently. And there were some other, I could say, like kind of housekeeping items with the DAC website that were brought up. So I did a little bit of homework, and we were able to make the necessary corrections to the DAC website. There were some grammatical errors, some outdated items that were removed. Some of the links were updated to make sure that they're current. And the other question about the website was the dates for the Disability Advisory Commission meetings. Those have now been added on the main website. They're also linked to the Disability Advisory Commission, so sort of on both places. So if somebody sees that there's a Disability Advisory Commission meeting tonight, they could click on that and they would be linked to to the Disability Advisory Commission's site as well. And all those meetings, so going on a go-forward basis, will be there in advance so that people can plan to attend or watch the meetings. Another question was, which is also found on the main website with the redesign, is a number for 222 CARE. That number is it's essentially a customer service number for the city. The question was if there are any concerns that come up with citizens regarding disability, and there currently aren't any pending items. I think the question, or I guess an example that was given would be if there was a concern about a location, say, that didn't have proper signage, or if they didn't have appropriate disability parking. I was assured by the contact there that if that were a concern, then they would immediately contact code enforcement to remedy the situation. If there was anything beyond the scope of what the city currently does, they assured me that they would refer that person to the Disability Advisory Commission if needed. So fortunately, I suppose in not hearing anything, that's been a good thing. But if there is anything that comes up, they have the number for the commission, and then we'd be able to respond. The other item, and this wasn't directly asked, but in following up with the website and the redesign, one of the items that I thought was very interesting and valid, or at least pertinent to what we do, is that the new design of the website, they made an effort as well to be what's called AA ADA compliant with the website. So there's things such as the browser settings, the screen readers, compatibility with software that would allow someone to use the website if they were, say, visually impaired, are all upgraded, and maybe things that we don't see directly if we're using the site as a just on a daily basis, but those affected by certain disabilities should have greater access. And if there are any concerns, or if you hear of any that do come up, we definitely, the city is definitely looking to make sure that the website is accessible to anyone who wishes to use it. And then, as mentioned by Commissioner Yeager, the other question was with regards to a Facebook page or social media, and as of present, there are city departments that have Facebook pages. The City of Surprise also has a main Facebook page. The option was given for the Disability Advisory Commission, even though the other commissions don't actually have Facebook pages, to add a Facebook page if needed. In the event that there was a lot of content that the Disability Advisory Commission wanted to continually provide, and as Commissioner Yeager said, that would go through me and through communications and legal. The other option, the current option, is to post any updates from the Disability Advisory Commission on the main City of Surprise Facebook page with a link to the Disability Advisory Commission page should somebody want more information about the commission. That's essentially my report, and so it looks very favorable that there's some options for the commission to consider in terms of reaching out to the community and having a presence.
Thank you, Robert. Vice Chair Stutzman?
I just wanted to say thank you. I know in my report last month I put a lot of things on you, and I want to say thank you for an outstanding job getting answers to all of my many questions.
And thorough answers at that. Okay, now with staff reports being complete, I will open the meeting to the call to the public. If anybody would like to come and address the board, the commission, now would be the time to do so.
Hi, good evening. My name is Abdu Dar, and I am the Senior Director of One Step Beyond's program. And I wanted to start by thanking Commissioner Linda Van Natter for the beautiful word that she said about the program. We really appreciate it. So I'm here on behalf of the organization to raise awareness in the community of Surprise about what we do. We are a nonprofit organization that provides services for adults with intellectual disabilities. I will start by saying our mission and vision for the program, and then I will move ahead and explain exactly what we do and what services we provide to our members. So our mission at One Step Beyond is to provide responsive, progressive, and dynamic programs to empower individuals with intellectual disabilities to realize their dreams of optimal independence, meaningful employment, significant social relationships, and full participation in our community. Our mission in our programs is a world in which people with intellectual disabilities are fully included in all areas in our community and are recognized for their potential, their talent, and their contribution to the society. So at One Step Beyond, we have been established for 13 years in the West Valley. And in the last 2 years in our strategic plan meetings, we decided to open a campus in a Surprise area to provide services for the members who reside in the community. We started out with one building, and we had 44 members who transferred from our program in Peoria. And then right now we provide services for 90 members. That means 90 families. So our programs divided into two major areas. We have life skills and recreation, and we have vocational and culinary programs. Our life skills is mainly focused on teaching our members basic life skills, whether that's reading and writing, budgeting, money skills, community safety, relationship etiquette, which we have classes that we call men's group and women's group, and so many other classes and activities that we provide. We also provide recreation activities for our members, including our dance programs, art programs, music, fitness, and events. So our nonprofit organization is 95% funded by the state through DDES, DDD. And then DDD's requirement is to really provide an area for our members, to provide them with staffing and adequate activities. But our program goes beyond just the requirement of the state, and we provide so many extra activities and events and programs, such as our fitness, our music and art, our events, and our culinary programs. So we are always seeking donations from the community, from organizations out in the community. We also would love to have some volunteers to help us with the day-to-day activities that we do at program. And for all that information, you can visit us at osbi.org, and you will be able to find a lot of information about our program. The Surprise location is located on Reams Road and Greenway. And then I'll go back to the program. So we provide employment programs and vocational program. Our vocational program focuses on teaching the members how to go out in the community and actually get a job. We work with them in our campuses to learn a lot of job etiquette and a lot of job information. Then we take them out in the community and we place them in jobs with staff. But when we have some members that they are ready to be employed independently, then we move ahead with paperwork and procedures because at the end of the day, our goal is independence. So our culinary program is again basic culinary skills that we teach our members. We have classes where we teach the members how to make just a basic meal, but we also have members who graduated our culinary programs, and they are actually ready to be placed out in the community and to get jobs in the culinary fields. We do catering opportunities for the community. And again, if you go to the website, you will be able to find a lot of information about the organization. So thank you so much for this opportunity to raise awareness about our organization, and we would love to hear from the Surprise community about a lot of opportunities, whether help us find meaningful employment for our members, come volunteer with us. And we also have job opportunities in the Surprise and in the Peoria campuses. All right? Thank you so much.
Thank you. So thank you very much. Thank you, Commissioner Van Adder, for bringing them in. Vice Chair Stutzman?
I would just like to say if you have any brochures that you could drop off at the city here, we can put them on our table when we have setups at different community events so that people can find out about you. Absolutely. Okay, thank you.
And now moving on to our agenda items. If we look at our agenda, our first agenda item is the presentation of the Above and Beyond Award to Cobblestone Auto Spa. This business is located at 13811 West Bell Road in Surprise, and ever since I have lived in Surprise, I can virtually go to this store for anything and everything, whether it's something I need for my house or whether it's something I need for my car. And I nominated this business for this award, and the reason I did is because when I go in there, most of the employees at the store know that I am disabled, and without me even having to ask, they try to, they help me throughout the store if they notice I have a big handful. They've offered and they've walked bags out to my car when I was doing my shopping for a couple days there. And again, like I said, it's not like I asked them for this. They just offered it, and I honestly, they take really good care of my car, and I appreciate them. So that is why I nominated for them for the award. Is there any discussion? I know. Well, I meant, did anybody want to say anything?
I've used this as well, and I'm very appreciative of the internet access that you can have while you're waiting for your car to be washed.
Good point.
That's terrific.
Good point. Okay, well, if we
Entertain a motion?
I know there is a representative for Cobblestone. If you would come forward, please.
I do.
Hi, I'm Robert.
Right, pleasure to meet you.
Good to meet you too. We'll come down. Is it okay?
Would you like to go down for the presentation?
Do we want to?
We're going to come down, and I'll have you take some pictures.
What's your role over there?
I'm a service manager.
Right on.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Been out here for actually 3 years now. It's
Yeah.
the only place I've been to since I got in the military, so
Right on.
good company, taking care of me.
All right. Should we go here in front of the? Okay. Yep. Go ahead and come over here, Ryan.
Where's everybody else? That's what I want to know. They sent you?
We'll get this set up so that we're. There we go. All right, come on in there. There you go. All right, let's one step together here. Get everybody in. One, two, three. Excellent.
Yeah, send me the info.
Good.
And once again, I would like to thank Cobblestone for being so helpful to people with disabilities. Our second agenda item is discussion and action pertaining to approval of the February 10th, 2016 DAC minutes. Has everybody had a chance to read those minutes? Did anybody? I looked over them. I did not see any errors. Did anybody see anything needing to be changed? Vice Chair Stutzman, did you?
The only thing I had on the first page, it's a tiny nitpicky thing, and I apologize again. Commissioner Herzog complimented. He said nice things about, as opposed to, it just has a different meaning. So that's all. They were perfect. Thank you.
Anybody else? Do I hear a motion to approve minutes?
I will so move that we accept the February 10th, 2016 DAC meeting minutes.
Okay, Vice Chair Stutzman has made a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Van Adder has seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Hey.
Abstain. I was absent for the meeting, so.
And with that, the February 10th, 2016 minutes pass. Did you have some, did you put your, okay. And our third and final item, discussion and action pertaining to placing items on future DAC agenda. Robert, you did get, now, Commissioner Jeffords, how do you want to do this? Do you want both of them to be discussed for 1 month? Do you want to do?
Yeah, I'd like to. I'd like to, if that's possible, to go ahead and write those up and discuss them quickly next month, and then maybe present them in May.
Okay, Robert, can you make sure that those are both on the agenda, please? Vice Chair Stutzman?
And we can always discuss them together next month as an agenda item, but if you want to present at two separate meetings, just so they each can have their own limelight, that is perfectly acceptable too, but we can have it as one agenda item next month.
Just for the purpose of the minutes and to get do you want to provide specifically the?
She's going to send you an email with her actual names with the official nomination.
Okay.
So I guess it would be two agenda items so that we could vote on each one separately, whether or not we wanted to give the award.
Right. Two separate items, but just done at the same meeting.
And you don't currently have their names, or?
The first name is Nathan DiMartino.
Okay.
And then Kathleen Bagley.
Okay.
And then they are, Nathan is a realtor, Kathleen is a neighbor, so no business association with them, correct?
Well, the realtor, he's got,
Okay, well, you can put that into the email to Robert.
yeah.
And I also suggest, point of order, if we can, in writing them out, that you list exactly why you want to give it to each of them. And if Robert can email it to us ahead of time, then we can actually vote on it that night.
If they're, just as a, in the agenda item itself, if whatever you provide in the email, if you want to give a short description, and I'll make sure that makes it in the agenda for next month, then you'll be able to see that ahead of time, yes.
I have one other recommendation for an agenda item. Is that?
Go ahead.
I would like to recommend that the supervisor for the surprise office of the DES vocational rehabilitation program come in and discuss what they do and why they do it, and vocational rehabilitation is a program that's near and dear to my heart because I worked for over 10 years as a vocational rehabilitation counselor, helping people with disabilities to go to work. And so again, they have an office in Surprise, and I would like to reach out to their office supervisor, her name is Angela Dial, to see if maybe she could just come in and spend 5 to 10 minutes talking about the program.
Vice Chair Sussman?
Just, again, as a point of order, if they just want to share information, they can come any month at the call to the public, and we won't have to put it on the agenda.
Yeah, awesome.
But if they do want to be able to receive questions from all of us, to take questions or have any kind of discussion, then we would have to put it as an agenda item. But if you could contact them, that would be super.
Yeah, so why don't you call them and
If she confirms,
see,
then I'll put it on the agenda.
right. Any other agenda items for next month?
Yes, I want to officially make it that we have the discussion on Facebook for next month to see the possibilities, explore the possibilities of having a Disability Advisory Commission Facebook presence on the Surprise Facebook website as a first phase, and the possibilities of making a Facebook page strictly for the Disability Advisory Commission for the City of Surprise, which will be another phase. We could put that on the agenda so we can discuss it next month. I'll do some research on that, and I'll hopefully have some information to put on that. But I think the research has already been done. I think it's definitely a possibility now, whereas it wasn't before. But we'll get into that next month. I'd also like to. I don't know if there's any other comments on that, but one of the other things I think I'd like to put on the agenda for next month with the approval of the chair. What I'd like to suggest is to discuss the concentration areas that we have, and perhaps going through the 5 of them. And number 2 which is connectivity. That would be part of the Facebook page, but see if we can reinvigorate the DAC, where we can have volunteers assigned, or volunteers who would like to focus on each one of those different aspects of our mission, so that we can get our message out there and concentrate a little bit more. I'd like to see if we can put that into practice, even though we don't have a strategic plan anymore or an action plan, which we're no longer required to have. But the magnet that we have has this on it, and the brochure has this on it. So I think what we should do is discuss that and how we can get out into the public a little bit more often to make our mission known. So I'd like to put that on the agenda for next month.
Is that an item we're going to vote on? Any specific?
Well, I like to discuss it, but it's not, I don't know if it'll be, I guess it could be an item we can vote on. What I'd like to do is discuss it and ask our members which one of them they would feel comfortable in doing. And if that's the case, then we can vote that a certain person would be a point person, so to speak, on this. Not a subcommittee, but a point person who would gather information over the course of the following month and then present what they have for each of the 5 concentration areas that we've already put in our mission. So I suppose, I don't know, I could use some help here about a vote, but I guess we could vote on that if it comes to, if everybody is settled and happy with whichever one that they would like to choose to work on, whichever fine point they would like to work on. Commissioner Chairman?
Yeah, I think we can put that on the agenda as a votable item.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to maybe recommend that something go out via email, not for discussion, but just clarifying because of the 2 new members that are not here tonight. I think just having a little bit of a preview of what's going to be discussed would be beneficial for them, for sure.
I could volunteer to email to the chairman my proposal with the 5 concentrated areas, And if he approves it or wants to tweak it, then he can send it over to Robert, and Robert could disseminate it to all of us then. Does that sound okay?
Is that something you might want to report on more in depth next meeting and then decide which parts of it would need to vote then? Or
Except if I use it as a report, we won't be able to discuss it and dig our teeth into it, and then another month goes by. So if I could just, explain what's going to be on our agenda for next month, then they, like Commissioner Jeffers just said, they would have, the people who are not here would have the opportunity to understand what's going on and be prepared for it and dig our teeth into something like that. And then we could, if we come to a decision, we can vote on it then. And if not, that's okay. We can go on another month to gather more information. But it's something to keep the process moving. Chair Pashna, does that sound okay to you?
Yeah, just get that email to me as soon as possible, and I'll look it over, and then I'll get it off to you. I'll send it to you, Robert.
I will.
Any other agenda items for next month? Vice Chair Stutzman.
This is for future DAC agenda, not for next month. I'd like to say that perhaps in the fall, September, October, if we can just make a tick file, to maybe see if we can resurrect the shake, rattle, and read. You never know when there's changes in departments, and people who were not interested aren't there anymore. So I think it's worth just revisiting it in the fall.
I agree. I agree with you.
And just see what the temperature is like then, and if it's still a no-go, then we can let it go. But I think it's worth revisiting in the fall.
Okay. Commissioner Jeffers and Allison Klein put a lot of work into this as well. And I still have all the notes, so I'll just keep all of that stuff in a folder.
Any other agenda items for next month? Seeing no other agenda items, do I hear a motion to close the meeting?
Motion to dismiss?
I second.
Motion by Commissioner Yeager, seconded by Commissioner Jeffers. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? With that being said, the ayes have it, and the Disability Advisory Commission meeting for March 9th, 2016 is closed.